When two brothers fight to death, a stranger inherits their property. This is an African age-long proverb that has been proven literally. A father worked so hard to secure a better future for his children, but the children are fighting so hard to destroy the legacy of the father. They are selfishly fighting themselves to destroy what their father worked so hard for. Children, brothers who are supposed to be working towards uplifting their father's legacy, instead of enlarging their father's coast, they are fighting to destroy the father's coast. This happens in 4 of every 10 Nigerian families. There is need for urgent action. Good day and welcome to Encumbered Properties Red Alert. On this show, we bring you details of encumbered properties, disputed properties, or properties that are for any reason not available for sale. Kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel to get real-time notifications on encumbered properties. Follow us on our social media handles to stay updated, or possibly visit our website www.encumberedproperties.com to get information on that property you want to invest in to avoid losing your money. My name is Rex Chinedu Agwawike, your host. My dear friend, no matter what you do in life, never lose what money cannot buy, fighting over what money can buy. Today's alert is on a seemingly attractive investment destination. A property finally located is now a subject of bitter inheritance crisis. The property in question has pitted 2 brothers against each other. The matter, which is currently in court, has left the brothers laying claims, accusations, counter-accusations over the control of the lucrative property. The property, known as Oakwood Manor, was inherited by the 2 brothers, Olamide Oyedele and Babajide Oyedele, following the demise of their father, late Chief Micheal Oyedele, a renowned businessman and a philanthropist. According to court documents made available to encumberedproperties.com, the 2 brothers, Olamide and Babajide, have been embroiled in a bitter dispute over the control and management of the said estate, Oakwood Manor, which features luxurious mansion, guest houses, and a swimming pool. Olamide, who claims to be the rightful heir to the property, alleges that his brother Babajide has been making unauthorized changes to the estate, including the demolition of a section for development without his consent. Olamide, who said he is the rightful heir to the property, contends that these actions by his brother Babajide are a blatant attempt to undermine his authority and possibly take full control of the property. Babajide, on the other hand, denies any wrongdoing, alleging that his brother is trying to bully him out of his own share of the inheritance. Babajide claimed that he has been making necessary repairs and renovations on the property to maintain the value of the property and also ensure its longevity. But the brother is not buying any of this. The long dispute has been going on for several months, with the 2 brothers engaging in a war of words and accusations. The matter took a turn for the worse a few days ago when Olamide allegedly stormed the estate with thugs, attempted to forcibly evict his brother and his family. This got Babajide infuriated, and he said he would never let that happen. The Lagos State High Court has since issued an interim injunction restraining both parties from making further changes to the property or taking actions that could be deemed intimidating, harassing, or threatening. The case is expected to resume hearing next month, with both brothers expected to present their arguments before the court. At the center of the controversy is a luxurious 5,000 square meters property valued at 5 billion naira. Is 5 billion naira enough for 2 brothers to kill themselves? This is a question I would want you to ask yourself. The property is located at number 12 Oakwood Street off Awolowo Road, Ikoyi, Lagos. In the meantime, the fate of Oakwood Manor hangs in the balance as the 2 brothers continue to fight over their inheritance. Prospective investors are, by this notification, advised to stay away from the disputed property. Do not patronize any of the brothers without visiting our website, www.encumberedproperties.com, or our YouTube channel to know the true state of the property before parting with your money. At this point, there is a need to get the views of a property lawyer to have a clear understanding of how this dispute affects the marketability of the property. Please stay with us. In case you're just joining us, you're watching Encumbered Properties Red Alert. On this show, we bring you details of encumbered properties, disputed properties, or properties that are for any reason not available for sale. And today we have a serious case on the table. Two brothers fighting over inheritance. We are here to seek an expert opinion on how this particular land dispute affects the marketability of the said property. My special guest in the building is no other person than the founder in EncumberedProperties.com, a very senior police officer and a property lawyer, Mr. Madueke Enwere. It's my pleasure to have you once again.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. Please, let's get the show running. This is more like a bitter dispute for me. Instead of two brothers fighting to uphold their father's legacy, to enlarge their father's coast, they are fighting so hard to destroy what their father worked so hard for. I would want to seek your legal perspective on this issue. What will be the fate of any investor who buys this property or part of it from any of the Warren brothers?
Well, you started with the marketability of such a property. In the first instance, no investor, no matter how much you think you've made, would want to invest in such a troubled family or troubled property. Because if you buy with Mr. A, you definitely have to fight with Mr. B.
Obviously.
So the safest thing any investor would do is to refrain buying from any of the brothers, at least until their differences is settled by the court, as they have already submitted to the court's jurisdiction. So for now, as far as I'm concerned, and for every investor that might be listening to us regarding this Oak Manor property, it is not an investment destination. It's not an investment heaven for now, except for anybody who might, for one reason or the other, won't be opportuned to be watching this video.
Right.
The person might be deceived by any of the warring parties into parting with his money, only to realize later that the property is actually in dispute. So, as far as I'm concerned, that property is not marketable. Yes.
Okay, I want to ask you a very personal question, How do you feel when you hear that two brothers are fighting themselves over inheritance instead of working so hard to add to what their father left behind? Some brothers are ready to die fighting over inheritance. How do you feel whenever you hear stories like this?
I actually listened to your introduction to this particular development. There is something you said that is very, very catchy to me, that we shouldn't, I'm paraphrasing now, we shouldn't destroy what money cannot buy, chasing over what money can buy.
Right.
Relationship, especially in bloodline, money cannot buy it.
Right.
Life, which some people have lost in the course of going after properties, money cannot also buy it. But unfortunately, lives are being destroyed, relationships are being marred forever over what money can buy. And I have this personal belief that anybody that fights over inheritance, whether from the father's side or whether from the mother's side, fighting over what somebody else left behind, the people in this class, they hardly measure up in life to the status of that person who left that property, not to talk of exceeding the achievements of that person. So instead of them concentrating on what they will do with your life to also leave things behind for their own children, they are busy fighting over the vision and efforts of some other person. Such people hardly measure up in life.
So they don't go as far as wishing death from their father, knowing the number of properties you've got.
It's very, very unfortunate. And that's also, I can't stop talking about the need for will, right? Your will. The best of siblings you think you have, at the departure of the father or whoever that has accumulated whatever, you will suddenly discover that two brothers, two siblings will become the worst of enemies, unfortunately. But will would always reduce this kind of crisis.
Now, I want us to look at it from this angle. Your advice for people like Olamide and Babajide. But first of all, I want to ask you a question. According to the story, Olamide allegedly stormed the said estate with thugs, attempting to forcibly evict the brother, Babajide, and the family. Now, with this action of Olamide, would you say he is in order, or his action alone further indicts him as far as this case is concerned?
You see, since they have already submitted to the jurisdiction of the courts, and the matter is yet to be determined by the court, it shouldn't be a matter of who is the fittest or who is the strongest now. They should be able to wait for the court to give its ruling one way or the other on the matter. And why would also a brother who is also equally entitled to a father's property be forcefully ejected or evicted from the said property? I mean, what happens to amicable settlement of the said estate?
So with the involvement of the thugs, what would you say is the status of this case?
Well, from Encumbered Properties correspondent in Lagos, the matter is still pending. Is adjourned. I don't know the actual date. Is adjourned
to resume next month.
I believe that the update on the the update on the hearing will be given. By Abubakar Bello, the Encumbered Properties correspondent in Lagos.
You know, when you talk about amicable settlement between brothers, who would you say has the responsibility to intervene in issues like this coming from the family background? Is it about the kinsman or the eldest in the family?
You know, another thing about submitting to the traditional authority, the kinsman, for instance, the traditional ruler, it's a matter of choice. The warring parties can decide to say, okay, traditional ruler or the kinsman, we want you people to help us resolve this dispute. But where any of the parties says no, he or she must go to court. It is his right, it is her right to take the matter to any authority he wants. I mean, court authority. Of course, you can't stop anybody from going to court. So, but doing otherwise, whether arbitration, whether traditional counsel, that one has to do with agreement or consent of the parties involved.
You talked about watching Encumbered Properties on YouTube to stay updated. So what would be your advice for prospective investors or possibly brothers out there who are about to go into war over their father's property?
Well, you made mention of prospective investors first. Let me address that one. If, for instance, someone is not watching this particular video, for instance, or not subscribed to this channel, the person might not know that this awkward manor is subject of dispute. The person could probably go into one agreement or the other regarding the property, lease agreement, rent agreement, or even purchase agreement. So for every investor, it's advised, if you must remain on top of what we are doing, if you must be ahead of property scams, to always hook up to this channel so that you'll be able to get updates on encumbered disputed properties around you.
Well, thank you so much for your advice, your words, and of course, I learned a lot having you on the show today.
Thank you. It's always my pleasure.
Are you watching us from wherever? I don't know, but you're on the right page. Encumbered Properties has got you covered. Are you fighting over your father's inheritance? You do not know how to secure the property. You do not know how to protect it from people, trespassing into it and parting with it. Then this is your surest blog. Encumberedproperties.com is the first and only real estate fraud prevention platform. On our platform, you will get information about encumbered properties across Nigerian cities and beyond. That would help you make informed real estate decisions. Would you like to get real-time notifications on encumbered properties, disputed properties, or properties that are for any reason not available for sale? Then subscribe to this channel. Tell your friends about us to save lives. Share this video to save humanity. Follow us on our social media platforms: Instagram at Encumbered Properties Limited, Facebook at Encumbered Properties Limited, or visit our website www.encumberedproperties.com. With Encumbered Properties, the safety of your real estate investment is assured. My name is Rex Chinedu Agwawike, thanking you for watching. Till I come your way again, stay safe and stay out of troubled properties. Good day.